So, you like to be in control? Well, this is your week. The most famous host of the Phoenix Force comes to Marvel Snap. Finally, Jean Grey. She's one of the original X-Men and an incredibly powerful psychic with the powers of both telepathy and telekinesis, giving her both control of minds and the physical world. The Dark Phoenix saga still stands as one of the most epic X-Men stories of all time in the comics, cartoons, and multiple movies. Which is why it's kind of a bummer that her Marvel Snap card doesn't really synergize well with the Phoenix Force card. It's like you gotta ramp them in, destroy, it's way too complicated to set up. Okay, Jean Grey is a 3 energy, 3 power card with the ongoing ability players must play their first card here each turn if possible. So you're essentially forcing you and your opponent to play into a specific lane. Oh, I'm sorry, is she a Guardian now? Because I mean, that works very well with all the Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Who require the opponent to play in the same lane for their abilities to proc. Same idea for Nebula. If you play her on a different lane, she's guaranteed a couple of turns to grow. Okay, Jean Grey is going to work very well in all manner of control decks. I mean, fittingly, Jean goes very well with her mentor, Professor X. You almost don't need Daredevil to predict where your opponent is going to be playing on turn 5 because, well, they're forced to play in Jean's lane, so while they're busy filling up that lane, you just lock down another with Prof X. And then there's the Surfer style control deck. Ooh, because Silver Surfer gives all 3 cost cards plus 2, right? Jean Grey's a 3 cost. Guess who else is a 3 cost? Brood. So, Jean Grey on 3, Brood on 4, fill up that lane, now you're free to play wherever you want, and then last turn, you Surfer, everyone there gets the buff. I mean, you could also combo Kitty Pryde with Jean Grey, so you get that low cost card to play to mitigate Jean's effect each turn. Wasp is going to be great for that as well as a 0 cost card, making the high evo control deck even stronger. I mean, Jean Grey and an evolved Cyclops. Sounds like a match made in heaven.
Jean!
And then there's Galactus. I mean, Galactus hasn't been as big a menace since he was changed, right? But with Jean Grey, you now have the ability to force opponents to leave lanes open, so you could very well cheat out some Galactus wins. Okay, let's talk about counters. Same way Kitty and Wasp worked for Jean Grey, you can use them against Jean Grey. Jean is ongoing as well, so I foresee an increase in Enchantress play. And of course, decks that play a lot of low-cost cards like Bounce can mitigate Jean's lane control powers. Hey, let me know how you intend to use Jean Grey. I mean, I'm excited to see how she pops off in these various control decks, and I guess that kind of answers the question.